Okay, so today I thought I'd show you what I have in my birthing kit for when the kids are born. First of all, I have a notebook, and that's a picture my dad drew of me with one of our very first kids that we had born. But I have a goat notebook, and in it I have all my information, and it's not the tidiest, but I know where to get it. I have my registration papers for our first goats that we got that are registered. The rest of them aren't. I have a birthing section, and I pulled out the pages for my birthing section. I got a list from Fias Farm for good things to have in your birthing kit. So over here I have a pile of rags. These are cloth diapers from when my kids were little, a couple towels. I will get probably twice as many as that to put in the kit before they're born, but that's just an example. There's some garbage bags over there for putting the dirty towels in afterwards. Paper towels to help wipe off the kids when they're born, and then you can use your cloth. A hair dryer. If it's a chilly day, hair dryer is good. You can help warm them up and dry them off faster that way. Iodine is good if you need to cut the cord, so you need a pair of scissors, and you can sterilize it with the iodine. The iodine can also be put into like an old medicine bottle or a film canister, and you can use it to dip the umbilical cord, the navel, in to sterilize that and help it start drying up. Flashlight's always good. You never know when you're going to have to go out there in the dark. I have lube if you have to go in and help rearrange the baby to get it born. I haven't had to do that yet, and I'm glad. Hopefully I won't need that. We're going on 5 years of having our goats, and so far this will be our 3rd year of kidding. And last year I had to help our one doe. I helped pull one of the kids because she was having a little bit of a struggle, and it was taking a while, but that's all I've had to do intervention wise. Most of the time they've had the babies when I wasn't even there. What else? We have Lamb and Kid high calorie liquid supplement in case they're weak or anything. If they need a little pick-me-up, I have that on hand. I have a couple goat sweaters that I crocheted for the babies. If they're cold, you can see the hay in them from having them in the barn last year. I also have clippers. This you don't need for birthing, but before the birthing, a week or two before the moms are due, I like to go out and give them a birthing clip. So you clip the longer hair on the sides of their tail, all around the vulva and down the top part of the legs by the udder, and you can even clip any long hairs down around the teats and udder so that when the babies go to nurse they can find the teats easier. I also have colostrum supplement just in case one of the babies is rejected. I want to have that on hand. And I have a couple baby bottles, kid bottles. The nipples we got at the feed store, and then they just go right on these are on iced tea bottles or soda bottle or whatever. I have gloves in case I need them, and I also have wipies so you can clean up a little bit in the barn before you get back to the house. The only other thing I use right after birthing is I'll go to the house and get a bucket of warm water and put molasses in it and take it back out to the moms to help give them some energy, and they love it. It's like a big treat for them. So I went to Fias Farm. That's the lady I got my goats from. She recommended Fias Farm for me. Lots and lots of info on there on milking, dairying, birthing, but this list of what to have in a birthing kit is from there. She also has on her site there a little article, I guess you call it, on the first few days and weeks when you have your kids, and it tells you this one is the first few days, then it goes through 2 weeks of age, 3 weeks of age, on up to 8 weeks of age and weaning. And those are just good. And she tells you both the traditional medicines that people use for different things and also the herbal supplements that she uses and has formulated. We have a high level of coccidiosis around us, and we have lost 2 goats to that. So I go with the traditional medication route. I don't go with herbs to help treat that, or prevent that actually. And I can't tell you where I got this, but I found online this handy dandy chart, which you probably won't even be able to read, but it's common goat medications and easy to understand dosages, and pretty much anything you'd need to know is on here. At the bottom it does say prepared by Dr. Kurt Villestra and Pipestone Veterinary Clinic, so if you looked up either of those you might be able to find it. I don't have the website still for that. But another thing I have in my birthing, not in the kit, but in my notebook under the birthing section, I printed out a paper that's got the different presentations, because what you want is to see the 2 feet and then a little nose to come out. But these are all the different kinds of presentations that might happen that you might have to help the doe, or if you're not comfortable, call somebody that's more knowledgeable than you, or the vet. I also printed this out, and we have made a couple of these, not exactly like this, but it's I guess they call it a kid cave. It's a 55 barrel drum, and you put a heat lamp at the top and some hay in it, and they go in there and they can get nice and warm, and they love it. And I will show you that eventually at the barn. I will show you the kid cave, and I will also show you how I clip the goats. A couple other things I wanted to mention. This is the bag I put it all in. I made this bag from a feed bag, and I put all the birthing kit stuff in that so I can take it right out to the barn easy. I have enough feed bags. I could make a bag for everybody I know, probably. But feed bags are another thing you could have on hand in the barn if you want. They're a good thing to put the baby on when they're still wet while you're working on them, so they don't get the hay all stuck to them. And then you can just throw it out after if they get gunky. Also, you can sit on them to keep yourself dry when you're sitting down in the hay or whatever with the babies and stuff. But you can use them to put the dirty stuff in, whatever you want. Feed bags are also always handy, I should say. In case you were wondering, I have these 3 bottles on Ziploc bags, just because when I put them in the birthing kit, I put each of them in their own Ziploc bag so that in case they leak or anything, they won't leak all over anything else, just themselves. Just to keep things a little cleaner, just in case. This, I'll show you the clippers too. The clippers are just some Conair clippers from Walmart. They're not that expensive. I think they were around $20. These have battery, but they also can be plugged in. And I got them because the battery I thought would be easier to just take out to the barn, or because we don't have electric in our barn, to the barn or even into the field and clip the goats. So that's all I use. I didn't get heavy duty animal clippers because they're pretty expensive, and I figured if this lasts me even a couple years, it's probably okay for what I use it for, because it's not like we show goats and have to clip them a lot. I just clip them once a year before birthing. So that's all it is. So this is Dahlia. She's my oldest doe. She's on her, I think, 4th kidding season, 4th or 5th. Hey you, get out of the way. And I was just going to show you how to do the check for the ligaments. As the ligaments are back here on either side of the tail, there's these ligaments that go diagonally down either side of the tail. And ordinarily, when they're not pregnant or not close to giving birth, they are short and fat and thick, kind of like a pencil. The closer they get to birth, the softer and thinner they get, and they disappear more. Hers are starting to get soft. I can still feel them, but when she's real close to kidding, you can almost put your fingers right around the tail and the thing. She's a good girl. She's very patient. You can go, Dahlia. Go ahead. Alright, we're going to attempt to do this. I'm going to try to show you how I trim a girl's tails. Fiona doesn't want any part of this. But I do down both sides. Okay, Fiona. I thought giving her grain would biting on my coat. Oh, yeah. You silly girl. It's okay, girly girl. I try to do the udder, down the udder, and on the belly, around the belly a little bit too, where it's longer. Come on, girl. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. No? Hard to do it by yourself, but I didn't have anybody to help me right now. Really, Galadriel just jumped out of the stall because she wants to know what's going on. You're not helping, Galadriel. You're okay. Good girl. Everybody's being so quiet. So that's basically what the back looks like. I do around here, up and down the sides of the tail and down the udder. And then I just do the front of the udder and the belly. Come here, bud. There we go, and she's all done. Good girl. I'll show you how I did. Let's see. Did just a little bit on the belly. And that's the back, all shaped. This is the little kid cave thing that we made that I mentioned before. We have the heat lamp tied up there so it will not fall. And then it's a 55-barrel drum with the bottom cut out, and we just put a bunch of straw on the bottom. So if they get too cold in the bigger stall, they can just go in there where the heat lamp is, and they get nice and toasty warm. And it's nice and small, and they just kind of like it to snuggle in. First kid of the season. Lucy gave us a single. She had twins last year. Got a nice big buck, huh? Yes, we do. Yeah, how are you? He's shivering. Shivering. Gotta get him warmed up. Dried off and warmed up. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Your hair out, huh? Yeah, Lucy. You're a good girl. it for a little bit. Put you back in with Mama, okay?